G. Grace's
Someone
stamp
can
collection.
find
And
Andy
Manly.
under the water, please let him know.
Yeah, then Viv Richards.
This heat is, I'm surprised actually the studio has stood up so well.
You guys like complaining a lot, guys. It's man.
No. I don't mean. No, I'm doing all right. I mean, it's okay. It's just that the heat doesn't do the tech any good. The
Next
computers
Panther
don't
Cologne.
like heat at all.
It's the Guerrilla Cricket.
Ngidi is coming in to Bairstow. Just knocks it up to mid. Oh wow! Now that would have been close if that had hit. Big dive from Bairstow. It didn't hit. I'd like to have seen what had happened if it had. It's a backhanded throw.
Good
He wasn't even in the frame. That would have been clearly out.
You know, David Miller
Just
with
once
the,
in a decade, in a
with the
lifetime,
backhand
maybe.
throw
The
off
world
his
of
left, off his
entertainment is
right.
disrupted and utterly
that
elated by
non-shot
something
again.
entirely new.
Good lord.
And now for something completely different.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we were saying earlier. I mean, you guys have 40 degrees. Everyone has 40 degrees. Oh, I mean, we're Northern Europe. We're not used to it. It's defended.
And what
Covered,
an intro that was.
by Jason
Indeed.
Roy. And there's no
All downhill from here. With
Well,
me,
plenty of places
it's
that
got
are.
me here, by the way. Hello.
Exactly that.
With
Tell
me
us to
I
stop
have,
complaining.
the
We don't have
bear
aircon,
on his
I
usual
suppose, is
tropical
one
island. Hello,
thing.
the bear.
Knocking about.
Feeling good on my
A lot of
tropical
it
island.
anyway.
It's
Wish
the
it was
Wizard
true.
of Watford.
Oh yes, yeah, that's true.
And that latest
the rest
voice
of
you
us have
heard
aircon
fresh from
freezes,
his travels.
Well, places
They
that are
have
hot, you have
away
aircon,
from
don't you? I
here.
mean,
We'll let you guess where.
supposedly,
Here's
I've never been to
Nortje.
Dubai, but all I
to
hear
the,
from people in Dubai is basically you don't
Prince
go
of
outside anyway.
Paraguay.
You stay in air
How
conditioned.
are you both?
Fat
It's been a
hotels
while
or,
since we've
you
seen
know.
each other in person.
Air
It has
conditioned
indeed.
cab between places.
I'm all right.
That's defended.
You know, soldiering on.
Square
life's
on the
okay.
offside, and
Cut the
there's
hedge,
no run.
mowed the lawn. You know.
Well, ask
Kept
Simon
life
how long
going.
this heat
The
wave is
life
going
of the
to last.
suburban Daily Mail.
Hopefully, it's not going to last too
Absolutely.
long.
Fuck off.
Oh no, it's going to change tomorrow. It's going to be back down.
I've changed my
to
WhatsApp
25, 26
profile
tomorrow.
message, and it just says that hedge won't trim itself.
It's bearable.
So I hit.
Yeah, it's
hear
very
you, man.
bearable.
I hear you. You're
That's
still
what
waiting to see if it will.
that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the
That's a
annoying
good
thing is-
temperature.
The annoying thing is, you have
Other
these
people say
brown
that's
bins,
cold,
right?
but you know.
And so
For
I
us,
filled
that's
up my brown
perfectly
bin. I've
good.
got this little routine.
So I think for some
to
people
say
in
that I
Africa,
scoop it up
25
and
is
look
like
around, I kind
the
of move the bin underneath the hedge and sort of cut
Well,
it.
yeah, I
so
mean,
it falls in
I've
the
been
bin.
to.
Good ploy.
The latest I've
And
been to
the fuckers,
Kenya,
they
it got
took the
down
bin
to
away,
about
and
14
of course I
degrees,
wedged
and
it
it's
all
fine
in a
for me,
bottle.
and everyone's going,
And they never check
freezing,
whether it's
you know.
empty, do they? So
Yeah.
and after
I
being
love a
wedged,
14
it stayed
degree
wedged.
Well, exactly. That's
Uh,
defended.
You've
Up to
overwedged.
mid-off.
That's
and
what
it's
I'm
like, you in
overwedged.
Joburg?
Over-compacted.
Yes, I am.
So what does that get to in the middle of
What's the
winter?
ground? We've got a green bin up
Down
here.
to about
God.
the harshest days are about
it's brown.
single digits.
Green
so
is-
probably might even
green
get
is do not.
minus
Recycle.
2
Oh, right,
days.
you're okay. You
We
can
used
get
to have
down
a
there.
bin
You're quite high
we
up
used
in
to have a blue
Joburg,
one,
aren't you?
which was small. And
Yes,
those were good
about
for-
1,800
They did that for a couple of years.
kilometers above
And
sea
everyone
level.
was
Kilometres? You'd be in space, mate.
Or
You
meters,
mean
meters,
just...
sorry, not kilometers.
The Foxes were extremely annoyed. I think they sent a letter to the council from
yeah.
their representative.
Helps for the flight to
saying
the golf
that, you
ball,
know, I
but
urge you to
outside of that,
reconsider
Yeah, well,
the letter to local
well, big
Or
scores.
any
Round
ball
the
for
table
that
with
Yeah,
matter.
well,
senior
exactly. Big
Foxes.
scores. Yeah, so they always said every time we play an ODI there, what's happening there? At altitude, ball goes further. There's an appeal that's going down leg side. There's no
we
train.
are.
As Maharaj starts
He was
a new
grumpy,
over at Bairstow.
some of the time. Anyway,
A little bit of quiet practice
we are
for the
meeting,
South Africans.
Because this is a podcast.
Yeah.
It's live, obviously.
Pointless, though.
The way to hack into our Zoom. On the eve of the second Test match between England.
I still
Bairstow.
can't believe that we didn't score 6 in that
which starts tomorrow
303.
morning on Friday.
Sorry, that's defended up to mid-off and there's no run. You're
And
Say that again?
I can't believe that we couldn't score a single 6 in that 3-3.
It's true. I hadn't thought of it like that, but it was true. I don't think I played the 6 jingle once.
So if there's
That
any
is
heavy
played
listening
up
that
to
needs to be done
mid-off.
about
Bairstow will
what
get another
actually
single.
what went on, more or less.
As England move
But
on to
there,
19 for
wasn't
none.
as
The
good
fifth
as it
over.
sounded from a distance.
Target's
It
3-3-4.
was. I mean, it was a very exciting.
GPL.
of course.
If
What's
England win, no
everybody
one
wrong
wins
with
the
it?
GPL. England have to
I
fall.
was there all days of it. It was really
21
exciting.
short
and
for
you
the
kind of. I mean, the thing
messages
was,
to get.
I mean, England to get over the innings, Jason.
A
277
win on
and a half
613,
innings, you just thought,
30 runs short of
never
getting a
gonna
win on
Yeah.
30 and 40 runs
I mean,
short.
after.
Is it closed?
having bowled them out,
Yeah, it's closed.
40,
Closed after an hour and
45,
15, so about
32,
16,
it was like
17 overs.
wicked. And then we did completely England.
Maharaj,
shit day one, just fucking collapsed, and you felt like
And,
we'd
it's
thrown it away. I
out
was
to leg
so
side
angry at
by
the end of day
Jason
one.
Roy.
It was just like
Melted.
Goes
They
to
melted like a
wide
like a
mid
They
on.
did.
on an airline drink.
It is.
Which
And
took
then
more than about 30 seconds.
And it
I
is
say
true,
this is
Lord's
anticlimactic
just
for
that.
a South African.
The pitch was doing, and the swing and everything was there on day one, and then on day two it started to dissipate. And as soon, I don't know if this is the condition of the Duke's balls. I thought they changed them for the test. After 40 overs, it just went flat as a pancake.
I don't have a problem with that.
No, I don't. If England could get to fucking 40 overs, Fred, considering you bowled them out 132, make sure you get to the point where you make hay. Because in the second, Mitchell and what's his name, Blundell, you know, they struggled, and then it got really fucking easy, and you thought, shit, England are real trouble. And then there was that crazy team hat trick. Dozy Colin de Grandon basically handed us the test by running himself out, then bowling Stokes off a no ball.
And knacking himself at the same time.
Yeah, and knacking himself, and he's out of series now as well.
He's knacked.
I liked what Broad's recap of that wicket, which, if anyone didn't see it, was there was an appeal for LBW, and de Grandon was sort of dozy outside his crease, and Ollie Pope from third slip, was it, where the ball had rebounded through the stump ground, and he was well short, fourth slip. And Broad afterwards said, I was just looking at the LBW, which was, frankly, he said, one of the worst LBW appeals you'll ever see.
Yeah, it was.
Down the leg side, which was pretty honest of him. But I would imagine if England, I don't know if they had a review, but he might have wasted a review on that, despite saying afterwards it was one of the worst LBW appeals of his life.
People were saying, why wasn't it a dead ball? Because the umpire didn't give a decision. Yeah.
It's not a dead ball. Why should it be a dead ball?
Well, see, if the umpire had given him out, apparently it would have been a dead ball.
Well, quite right. Yeah, once he's out, then what else is going to happen?
Well, no, you mean if you'd given him out for LBW?
Yeah.
And then it was overturned.
And then it was overturned. He wouldn't have been run out.
Well, it's fair to call that a dead ball, because otherwise, theoretically, they could keep running whilst they were making a decision about whether he was. I mean, generally speaking, people are not aware of this, and my teammates often are not aware of this. The ball isn't dead until it's finally settled in the hand of the wicketkeeper or the bowler. So sometimes, somebody will push the ball out in a club game or whatever, push it to cover, and he won't kill it by throwing it back to the keeper. He'll just try and wang it towards mid-off, who misses it, and then they shot after it. And the ball isn't dead. The ball isn't dead.
But you always get those wanky keepers in club games as well, who hold on to it because the guy always wanders out of his crease, and then they try and knock the bails off.
That is the
after
umpire.
He's waited 10 seconds.
That is the umpire's call as to when the ball is actually dead. But it can't be dead until it's actually under certain circumstances, which are finally settling in the hands of the keeper or the bowler, or when the umpire's called dead ball, or when the wicket falls.
I've just returned from a Mitcham under 10s game, lost to Beddington, in case you're interested. Very, very
Lots
good.
Of wides.
Very good under 10 outfit. But every time the ball is played into the when we're fielding, I always say to get it in, because they field it and they done that, and they just
hold on to it for a bit, and they wander around, and then they lob it somewhere.
Good discipline. I mean, not necessarily like Ben Stokes and try and run people out when they're clearly in their
get
crease,
it into the keeper,
but just get it into lob it gently if you must.
That's his job, the keeper.
Yeah.
Is that one of those games that starts at 200 and they have 8 wickets and shit?
Exactly that. Yeah, pairs cricket. It starts at 200 because every wicket you lose is -5.
Pairs cricket.
Oh, very good. Yeah.
Pair country. Anyway, so I mean, as I say, following this test match from abroad, there was a couple of days when I was all over it, and a couple of days when I wasn't. And it looked like absolutely top quality test cricket. And
it was.
It was always interesting. And as you say, there was on the third day, when I'm assuming England fans watching and Guerrilla Cricket listeners were, the old D tweet kept coming in.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The D word
at the end. Well, especially, I mean, when Stokes got out, I mean, obviously it's now no ball.
When he got out and got 3/4 of the way back to the pavilion.
Well, it's now all no ball via fucking video referee, in it. So he was wandering back. We're all going, what fuck? I mean, he was. Stokes was just completely skittish. He was running down the track at everything, getting his timing. I mean, he did this, and only when he got to about 40, and he was out for 54, I think it was, did he actually start getting hold of anything. But he was doing this for about 2 hours. He's just like, just chill out, and he just didn't chill out. Finally got hold of stuff, and then the ball that got him out actually was a really good ball. It was a short ball from Jameson around the wicket. It just followed him.
Yeah.
And everyone said he was trying to ramp it, but he was so cramped for room. I don't think he had much option to do anything really. So he just tried to flick it over the keeper at the last minute and got caught.
And Bear, in your opinion, as a man who watched every ball of the Test match, do you put that skittishness of Stokes' batting down to the captaincy?
I thought, I mean, that was my thing. It's kind of like, I'm coming out here, I'm going to impose myself on the game. I'm skipper of England, and we fucked up in the first innings. I'm going to come out and I'm going to impose myself on it. And I just thought he didn't need to do that, really.
No, well, at that stage they needed to bat.
Yeah, well, exactly. But then he, having got bowled out by de Grandhomme, you think, well, after that he did kind of chill out for a bit, but then he went back to it. Yeah. And maybe he got himself in by chilling out a bit. But Root in that second innings, man. I mean, the release that guy's got for not being captain. I mean, he's just fucking.
Well, to be fair, he scored lots of runs when he was captain.
Yeah, he did.
Let's not forget he was voted the best Test player in the world last year.
Well, this is true.
Among the wreckage of what became his captaincy.
Exactly, but this is the first time he scored a fourth innings ton. Normally he falls flat, and he scores a lot of runs in the first innings, and when we need him,
how things change. I remember they used to have a go at Graham Hick for never scoring first innings tons, only second innings tons, and that was supposed to be a great flaw in his, saying, "Oh, he only does it when the game is over." But people who are looking to criticise will always find some way to criticise.
Listen, it's very hard to criticise Joe Root as a Test batsman at the moment. No. He is. He must be ranked number one, is he?
Head and shoulders
no, I don't think so. I think Labuschagne is number one. Well, certainly Labuschagne.
No, I think the ICC has said Kohli is number one in perpetuity, I think. What was the final partnership between Root and Folkes? How many were
it was 60 odd, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. No, it must have been. It must have been 120. I guess. I think Stokes out around about 150.
And how did Folkes do in that last innings?
I personally, I thought he looked good. He looked good. He looked untroubled. The pitch by then was really fucking slow.
Yeah. The situation is causing grief, isn't it? You've got the pressure of the situation.
We had low. I mean, the thing was, there was never an issue of time, was it? I mean, we were batting on day 3 for the final innings of the game. So there was loads of time, and he decided on that fourth day. Basically, when Stokes was in, Root was really quiet, and then literally as soon as Stokes was out, Root started nudging it down the wicket, clipping it to the leg side, just immediately took.
But I like that. That is intelligent cricket.
It was class.
That's intelligent.
Game management.
But you can criticise Stokes for the way he played, and a few have. I've heard some brickbats, and that's fine. He's a better player than that, and he perhaps could have played accordingly. But look, 54 was fine. All but right. But as soon as he got, as you say, Root changes gear.
Yeah.
That was the right thing to do. Folkes was there to support, and that's what he did in that third evening. The next morning, when we still needed
61,
57 or 61 or whatever
61 it was we needed.
And it was only 15 overs to the new ball, wasn't it? And at that point, Folkes, again, he changed gear, and he was a bit more positive. And again, just intelligent batting. Now, under the previous regime or the one before that, did we see much evidence of that sort of game management, to use that terrible phrase? Don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you can read. How much can you read into a single game? It's hard to, when you're talking about small sample sizes, talking about. But if Stokes had got out, if you say he'd been and Folkes had gone early, then the story would not be about England's game management. It would have been about England having yes.
And by the same token, Fred, what I would hate to happen as an England supporter is to let the victory cloud or
mask.
allow us to mask or overlook
the failings,
some
so we don't have any opening bats in.
Well, we've got an opening.
But we need 3, and we have 3/4.
We've got like half, So we've got one. I mean, we've got some runs, but we've got one who is an opener who's not worthy of the name at the moment. We've got a number 3 who has never bats at number 3, and we've got a number 5 who's proved himself incapable, particularly in English conditions with a moving ball, of being a Test match batsman, and who gets bowled far too often. So those are 3 fundamental issues that England must address in the top order. And I don't want the victory and people go, "Oh, you wouldn't change your winning team." Yes, you would, to make it better.
Talking about not changing a winning team, the most bizarre. What's the word I'm thinking of? I can't think of any words.
But the team is in, isn't it?
The example of that is the fact that England have named an unchanged team with Leach in it.
Well,
even though he didn't actually play in the previous game, because you don't want to change.
He played.
He did nothing wrong.
Minutes.
He was the man in possession. Exactly. He did nothing wrong. I mean, it's just very odd.
I mean, the funny thing is, Matt Parkinson came on, and Gary's been banging on about him for fucking ages. And look, I'm a spinner. I wanted to see him do well, and I'm fully down with the fact that he got called. He was at a barbecue in Yorkshire and he had to come down. He played, but by day 4, and he got a wicket. To be fair,
What's he doing in Yorkshire?
Lancashire, wherever he is, he's fucking somewhere up there.
The north.
The north. The place that needs levelling up there somewhere.
That sounded rather menacing when you said it, like you're going to drop a bomb on it or something.
Leveling, you're going to
level it down.
Level the place.
Level the digger up there. Yeah.
Maybe that's what they mean.
But he's just too slow through the air. I think he was nervous in his first spell. He was bowling. I mean, he didn't go for a lot, and he had a couple of sweepers out. It was,
he didn't bowl very much in the first innings, or he bowled a couple of overs. I mean, he didn't have time because New Zealand bowled out for not very many. But I'm interested to see. I didn't see anything of New Zealand's second innings. How did he bowl when it was at a time when you wanted a spinner to at least contain and possibly
he
show
didn't
some threat?
Really contain, and there wasn't any. I mean, the problem was the first things went so quick. I mean, literally, New Zealand were batting again shortly after lunch on day 2 in a third innings.
Yeah, but I mean, when they were 200 for what were they? They were about 180 for 4 or something. That's when you really need a spinner.
He didn't get taken apart, but he bowled a lot of dross. It's very slow through the air, and the problem is it's so slow that good batsmen would still get on a back foot to him.
His first class average is, and I was surprised about this because I had similar reservations to you, Bear. Up until 12 months ago, let's say, and then I looked up his first class average. It's like 23.5 or something.
Yeah,
which is really impressive.
Well, there's no one way to bowl spin. I mean, there's bowlers like Anil Kumble who fizz it through and basically bowl sort of top spinners, and there's bowlers who chucked it up in the air historically. There are different ways of doing it, and you can be skillful in those, within those different disciplines.
No, I give him another go, but he's not the panacea that Gary will make you think.
No, he's got to be given the chance though. I think that's the frustration. And look, as you know, I'm a fan of Leach. I'm a fan of him as a person, as a player. But you want a spinner in the side to be a threat and to be a weapon.
He looks competent. You don't think he's.
Well, the other thing that Gary said,
he may be the best they've got. That's the problem. I mean, but he's not. You never think, Leach is coming on. No one ever thinks that, except maybe his mum down in wherever it is.
But the real big miss was Parkinson not getting a sniff in the West Indies on those pitches that demanded it. Really, he's on the tour. He's carrying the drinks. Give him a fucking go.
Yeah, they should have done. But we had that podcast with George, and by the third test, they weren't. He was sort of given permission not to be in the nets even. So someone had obviously decided he wasn't going to play by then.
Well, that last pitch, you could possibly understand it. The other ones that were more dusty, that's where you want him. And why have him on tour if you're not going to give him? Anyway, that's been done.
I mean, England did have a long tail in this game, and people who have always calling for Broad and Anderson to play. It does give you an automatic 2 number 11s when they're playing. And then if you've got 8 and 9 on all that cop, then you're putting a lot of pressure on what Grubby quite rightly pointed out is a pretty brittle top order.
It's flawed.
It is. That top order is flawed, but I mean,
I hate saying that the bowlers have to bail out the batsman, but it's something you do have to take into account.
Maybe, but
this is a modern thing. I mean, you go back to I guess the game moves on. Let's be honest, but that's true. But I mean, back in the day, exactly, tails were long. Bowlers didn't really bat, and they did complain about them. But you have to expect your batsmen to get runs.
Yeah, the starting point for any selection is who are our best batters, who are our best bowlers, who's the best wicketkeeper, and you start from there. If you find after doing that you've got an imbalanced side, then maybe you tweak. But call me old-fashioned. Pick your best bats, pick your best bowlers, pick the best wicketkeeper. It's
not obvious who all those people are. That's the problem.
Well, no, I mean, I'll tell you the one positive. Matthew Potts looked good, man. Looked really good. Bowled heavy balls, big, strong guy.
Yeah.
Got Kane Williams. Well, no. Got Kane Williamson twice.
Yeah.
So like 10-pin bowling, where you can bring your own ball with different weights and things.
Well, it'd be nice, but
16-pounder.
I never got that
always too heavy
bowling thing. It used to jam your fingers in these just giant. Not my cup of tea.
Not for you.
To wear somebody else's shoes as well. What was all that about?
I like those shoes.
Well, that was just a con.
They were trendy when I was
didn't mods in the 60s used to
exactly
go in there and then bugger off wearing shoes.
When I was 10 or 11 and we all wanted to be mods, we all wanted burgundy stay press and bowling shoes.
I cannot see you in a burgundy stay press there.
No, I didn't get them. I
don't even know what that is.
Neither do I. I've got a picture in my head, but I've no idea. I'm picturing it as sort of sharp creased trousers.
Well, exactly. That's what stay press were.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
But they stay pressed, so the crease was always there.
Gubby likes to drop a burgundy now and again, but I'm not sure if he spills it down his trousers.
It's a Shiraz or a Syrah. Same thing, same grape, as I'm sure you know.
No, not really. Well, we're having a drinks break now. Marvellous. It was Andy Ward who pointed out about club cricket nowadays. He said, when did drinks turn into a 10-minute knitting circle? Which is true. People just wander off and sit down and start, discussing their life stories.
I would wander into the middle of the pitch and stand there with my hands on my hips, shrugging and my palms to the
everyone
sky.
Would
going,
ignore you.
What?
Everyone would ignore you. What's the worst thing that can happen in club cricket in drinks?
I don't know. Is that a rhetorical question?
Well, it is, because every so often the opposition, when you're out in the field and some bloke has been dragooned from the other side to make some orange squash and bring out them, find some clean cups. When they put too much squash in the jug, that's nasty.
You'd rather have more water than
absolutely. You err on the side of water.
But the other thing is, I mean,
because then you just feel absolutely awful for the next 20 minutes.
You feel even more thirsty than before you had it.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is,
especially sometimes.
Exactly. Drunks. No, drinks.
Drugs.
Drugs. For me, yeah.
That's a great line from Super Hands in Peep Show, where he sellotapes some drugs to that frisbee and throws it out the hotel window, and he goes, drugs. He leaps out the window.
Never watched it. I thought it was very funny.
Drugs.
But drinks are de rigueur in club cricket. It can be fucking 15 degrees.
Yeah.
You have to have drinks after fucking 20 minutes.
You're playing a 40-over game. You have drinks over, and if they're an over late, everyone's looking over at the opposition. Where are the drinks?
No. I see. You only have drinks when it's hot, man. You don't need drinks when it's like 16 degrees. Everyone's
wearing
jumpers.
Need drinks. You still need drinks.
No, you don't. I used to bowl all the time, and I never used to fucking need a drink.
Well, as Andy pointed out, they now take forever.
Yeah.
You used to meet up the middle, go, cheers, mate. Some people would collect the empty cups and head off with the jugs. And now it's just, well.
And didn't you take the piss out of him on Twitter for having such a sort of curmudgeonly view? And what was the thing? What was the meme?
Eventually, I remember him as a young buck in another field when he was the up thrusting youngster, and he's turned, like all of us do, into a grumpy old man.
Absolutely.
And
welcome on the show.
It's good to see. Dear, yes. It's a funny thing about Andy. I've known him for quite a long time now, probably about 25 years, and he has these. He'll take up a sport or a pastime or something, and he will absolutely throw himself into it to an extraordinary degree. I remember when he took up golf, and he was playing golf. He was playing rounds of golf like 4 times a week, and he was spending hours and hours and hours on the driving range, and he had coaching and everything. And then a year later, he said, "How's the golf going?" He said, "Well, I haven't played since last year." He's given it up completely. At the moment, it's chess. He's playing very, very, very many hours of chess, and he's doing quite well.
I bet he's very good at chess. In fact, I happen to know that he's quite good, but I probably don't know quite how good he is, if that makes sense.
And chess is a young man's game as much as anything is. I mean, to get really, really, really good at it. But he throws himself into these things. And
last time I saw him, he was playing 12 games at once on some competition thing.
Well, he knows that from his poker days. There was everyone had their optimum number of tables they could have up playing online poker at the same time. You used to see videos of people playing 40 games at the same time.
Jesus.
And you wonder how their quality works over that many, but people did it, I suppose.
We had a giant chess set in Tenerife.
Yes, I saw you turned over your Litland, didn't you?
I turned over Bertie, age 9, with what I thought was a very
subtle,
an ingenious checkmate involving a rook, a knight, and a bishop. And in fact, it drew a response from aforementioned from aforementioned Andy, who just sort of wrote the word checkmate in large letters, which I took to be a compliment. And
it's one of those things.
I didn't do a lap round the resort or anything like that.
Oh, you should have. You got to teach kids early.
You can't
let them win
from the fast show.
You can't let the kids win, man.
It's a bit like that. When you see cricket on television, bad television comedy shows, somebody will always say, "How's that?" even when he's bowled somebody, because it's well known. And you would never ever see, apart from this program that was about chess, there was a series a couple of years ago. I think the Queen's Gambit. I never saw it.
Yeah,
but,
very good.
When people are casually playing chess in a show, in a TV show or a film, somebody will always say checkmate. And when you're playing any kind of standard of chess whatsoever, nobody ever says checkmate because it never gets that far. It's always obvious, and the bloke has resigned.
Yes, exactly.
That many moves forward. But it's
well,
one of those
the other
things. If you're a chess person, you'll say, "Oh God, somebody's fucking said checkmate again."
Yeah.
Cricket and TV shows, they're always fucking awful.
Someone says,
"Oh, this person's a really good player," and then they do the filming of it, and they're obviously fucking hopeless.
No, and somebody bowls, and then there's a cut to the
and
ball
can't bowl
bouncing about 3 seconds later, halfway down the track.
Really
there
slowly.
was a Dad's Army episode where somebody was bowled, and then they all turn around to the umpire and say, "How's that?" And he lifts his finger up. And
amazing!
Just don't. Just really, just don't.
I was
once dragged out of a poker game in London. Well, somebody said, "Oh, you doing anything tomorrow?" Obviously, I wasn't. And he said, "Oh, I was supposed to be doing this gig as a poker expert on a TV show, and I can't do it. I've got to do something else. Will you do it? There's a few £100 in it for you." And I said, "Yeah, sure. Why not?" I had to go up to some house in Camden Town where they were filming an episode of the show called The Brief with Alan Davis.
All right.
Where he was a barrister, and they spent about 7 or 8 hours filming a poker game that he was in, and I set it up, what cards they have and how the betting went and whatever, and I gave him a couple of lines of dialogue which I wasn't credited for, and it was and it wasn't like a royal flush against 5 of a kind or whatever. It was just a very banal, boring hand where our hero lost. Anyway, we spent about 6.5 hours doing this, and then a few months later it came out, and it was 48 seconds. That's
pretty good.
That's what 8 hours takes. Don't. I once did a fucking. Oh, this was one of TV. This one of the reasons. One of the reasons I remember doing. I did some Cherry something like Cherry Blakely or something. She does fashion shows on the BBC. We were in her house and we were doing something.
Strangely, no, Bear. I don't know who that person is.
Yeah, well, exactly. She's not massively well known. And we were doing a show, and this fucking poncy little director who's in his mid-20s, and by this time I was probably about 40. And he's filming putting a coffee cup down, and literally he did about fucking 40 takes of this thing. It's like, oh, that's a bit slow. Oh, that's a bit. Like, fucking hell, this is going to be some poxy little takeout of someone putting down a cup of coffee. Do you think anyone watching this show gives a crap that it's 1.5 seconds at 1.2 for?
He's an artist.
It's daytime telly, man. By this time I've lost it. I've spent too long in daytime telly,
I'd have loved to have seen Bear working on a Hitchcock movie.
And that's more fun. Working on movies was good,
There was a famous one that actually bankrupted a Hollywood studio. Was it Heaven's Gate by Michael Cimino? After he made The Deer Hunter, the world was his oyster, and the studio gave him unlimited budget and unlimited to do this sprawling epic about the American West. And for one scene where the people were roller skating, it was quite a good scene, actually. It's great if you ever see it on YouTube. It's where people are in a sort of a roller skating arena. It was apparently a thing that people did at that time, and they were sort of roller skating to music, going round and round in circles.
A roller disco, I believe they were called.
It was a sort of a roller disco, yeah, but in the 1880s in Wyoming or wherever it was.
Oh, the 1880s.
He had he spent 6 months teaching all the actors to roller skate.
What?
Good use of time.
6 months. 6. It's a great scene.
And the scene was what? 90 seconds?
No, the scene was a couple of minutes long. It's a great scene because there's a bloke playing the violin on roller skates as well as he goes around and doing acrobatics. It's actually a very good film. It was absolutely panned at the time, and it did bankrupt the studio, unsurprisingly, when you spend 6 months with a film crew trying to teach people to roller skate.
Absolutely. Wasn't that with Dustin Hoffman and Richard Gere or something like that, wasn't it?
No, it was with Chris Christopherson and
Oh, I've got that.
So you're close, Ben.
It was a good film. It was very long. It's like a 3-hour film. But
speaking of films with heaven inside, you've seen the Lady of Heaven thing that's come out. That's caused all that kerfuffle.
Do we want to go there?
Do we want to go there? I don't know.
I mean, I'll give you a couple of hours on it if you like.
I don't know about it.
Probably just as well.
Okay. Yeah. Well. Okay. We'll miss that.
Okay, well, what else has been going on in the world of cricket? I haven't prepared anything. Oh, no, we've got segments, haven't we? We've got segments. We've got the Bear does the Daily Mail sidebar.
We've got
Grubby's got, and we've got Grubby does Twitter. So what are we going to do first?
We got more segments than a Terry's chocolate orange.
Well, actually fewer. But so Grubby, what have you got for us on? Oh, I shall leave a gap here where I shall put in the jingle for.
It's the boring cricket tweet of the week.
Yes, it's boring cricket tweet of the week. And the first candidate this week comes from none other than Patrick Kidd. Now, as we all know, it was the Jubilee recently. So this is in not so much as a boring tweet, although it is quite boring, but for the fact that it is, in my view, painful. And you'll see why. Patrick Kidd tweeted a few days ago, "No cricket today at the Oval. Rain stopped play." And rain is spelled R-E-I-G-N.
Oh, no.
Is he still working for the fucking Times?
According to his Twitter bio, yes. So there's your first candidate. That's going to take some beating, isn't it?
To be fair, if he is a cricket writer for the Times, he is one of the cricket writers for the Times who hasn't blocked me on Twitter. So I might actually see that. But that is pretty poor. I'm not sure it's boring. It's just terrible.
It's terrible. Well,
okay,
yeah.
well, you can judge it.
Patrick Kidd, when he used to come in for Guerrilla Cricket, Guerrilla Cricket, he used to come in at Test Match Sofa.
Right.
And a rather embarrassing episode where he asked me how old I thought he was. At the time, he was about 27. Of course, he's fat and quite round, and I thought he was about 40. Classic faux pas.
There's no good answer to that, is there?
What is someone doing who knows that there might be an answer he doesn't want to hear?
It's a hostage to fortune.
Exactly. Why is he throwing that out there?
Well, he probably didn't ask me that. I was probably having a conversation.
Maybe you just went,
"How old are you?
40, you fat fuck."
No, I probably said, "How old are you?" And he said, "Well, how old do you think I am?" You know, that kind of thing. And I said, "Well, 40."
Yeah. You've not thought about that, have you?
No.
It was either going to be your fault or his, and it turns out to be yours.
Yeah, both of you have got some work to do on your conversational skills in that particular episode. Okay, lead us to Wales.
Yeah.
How did you know?
One of the stories involves Wales as well. I picked that one.
Look you. Two of the candidates in boring cricket tweet of the week this week are actually conversations or two-parters, if you like. You'll see what I mean. So this
branching out.
So this one starts with Charlotte, who goes by @CricketShah on Twitter. And she tweeted out recently, bit of a weird request. "I'm looking to make contact with Mike Llewellyn, who played for Glamorgan in the 1977
Gillette Cup final.
As she says, yeah. Right. And then a fellow called, this is a great name, by the way, a fellow called Xavier Voigt-Hill replied, and this goes back to some themes that we've covered in previous
what's the Twitter handle?
Can't remember, but okay. Xavier Voigt-Hill, I think you'll probably find him.
Well, I'm just wondering which Xavier Voigt-Hill. It could be one of so many of them.
He wrote back to Charlotte saying, "Andrew Hignell, Glamorgan's scorer, also runs the Museum of Welsh Cricket and would almost certainly be able to help." It's like a cliffhanger, isn't it? I don't know how it resolved itself. Anyway, but I thought the initial one was quite odd and boring. So there we go. That's candidate number 2. Well, okay. Well, just hold fire for a sec. Then somebody who goes by the name of Change of Pace on Twitter tweeted out, "Mohammad Hasnain's revamped bowling action is legal."
Well, good for him, because I just read he's been snapped up in the 100. He's got himself £100. Well done. It's like getting the top prize on Bullseye. That is,
Have they had another bloody auction?
Oh, they've had a
this year?
supplementary auctionary draft, and
Well,
this
maybe.
bloke who's just been cleared by the ICC has got a gig.
Never
maybe-
heard of him.
Mohamed Hasnain, he's played internationally for Pakistan. He's very good.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't know he'd been having issues with his action, but he clearly has. But I thought the way it was, Mohamed Hasnain's revamped bowling action is legal. And I shout legal because it was written in capital letters.
Okay.
I found it quite dull.
So what he means is he's still chucking it, but someone's cleared him.
The ICC, so importantly. But I suspect, Fred, that's why he wasn't available in the original draft, because he was still sub judice or whatever it's called. And now, the next candidate in BCTOTW is the Nepal cricket Twitter feed.
Yes.
Okay, this is their tweet. I think today, toss update. Oman won the toss and elected to bat first.
Well, yeah, but you have to remember that a lot of cricket feeds do actually give you sort of a running commentary of what's going on.
Yeah, Knuckle used to do it all the time.
They spelt
Yeah, but it's not as boring
bat
as
with a
Knuckle.
capital letter.
They spelt what?
They spelt bat with a capital letter.
Oh.
Elected to bat first.
There's a lot of that going on.
Don't like it.
Bit of politics.
Boring.
But
Pedantry.
yeah, but what if every club says, at lunch, Essex are 114 for 3. That's boring, but I mean, it's got a legitimate purpose.
It's fine. If you don't think it's boring, then you won't vote for it.
I don't think I will. It's not a great selection this week, I have to say, Robbie.
I'm voting Patrick Kidd.
What? Too exciting. And the final
it's not
one,
a competition you want to win, is it?
the final one in another little conversation one. Somebody who goes by the name of Miss Saffron Swansborough. Ooh, nice.
Do you think she knows Xavier Voigt?
Yeah, probably.
We could put them in touch, couldn't we? She or he or whoever says, "Where am I?" and puts a photo of somewhere, indeterminate. To which Jan Payne replied, "East Dean Village Cricket Ground, I think, because that's the old sheep centre behind."
Yeah, that's pretty boring.
That's pretty
But, I mean,
boring.
it's a good spot, though, to be fair.
If it's true.
If it's true. Yeah.
Do we know the answer? Do we know if it's true?
I don't. There is a bit more to
cliffhanger.
chat.
We'll have to wait
but-
till the next podcast.
The old sheep centre behind. So we've got Patrick Kidd, no cricket today at the Oval. Rain, as in REIGN, stopped play.
Yeah.
Charlotte cricketer, a bit of a weird request, looking for Mike Llewellyn and Xavier.
What was he famous for, gents?
Who? Mike Llewellyn?
Mike Llewellyn. He didn't play very long for Glamorgan, but he did something in the Gillette Cup final of 1977.
Got run out for none?
No, he hit a ball either over the pavilion or into the guttering at the very top of the Lord's Pavilion.
Ooh, that's very good.
That's
You
a
can't have hit it
pretty-
over, because if you listen to Tony's podcast, you only ever hit it
Well,
over.
Tony has been known to get things wrong. let's
Victor
be honest.
Trump. Is it Victor
But
Trump?
I mean, Grubby now knows full well exactly what kind of a hit that is, because we spent a very happy day at Lord's a couple of weeks ago, didn't we?
It was beautiful. Yeah.
I pretended it was my gaff, and I was showing him round as if I was, showing him round my
Lord of the Manor.
country estate.
We had jackets and ties on, Bear.
We did
Yeah,
have
fuck
jackets and ties.
I told you I refused to do that.
You would love it.
You would love it.
Make yourself do it one time. It's
You will
brilliant.
love it. It has to be for a county game, and it has to be, a reasonably nice day. But
I
you
mean,
will
literally
really
any
love
old shit. Some of the jackets and ties I saw in there.
Pretty ropey, yeah.
Just pull it out of a skip.
Can you take the tie off when you get in the pavilion?
You can on. I don't know about the tie. You can take the jacket off on the balcony when you're sitting outside.
I didn't see it. Put it this way: I didn't see anyone get ejected for taking their tie off. But do you know why that was? Because
No one
nobody
took-
did.
Nobody did. Why would you? I mean, you have to put it on when you go back inside.
I find those sorts of things the tools of the oppressed, man.
But let's be honest. I mean, there's a lot to see in that pavilion.
Mm.
There is a lot to see. There's some great bars, by the way, Bear.
That's
Great.
not
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, yeah.
And,
Anyway,
there
we'll,
is an
um,
extraordinary
take
amount
cash?
of cricketing. No, you don't. There's an extraordinary amount of cricketing. Art, I think you'd say.
Yeah.
Some of it absolutely dreadful.
Yes.
And some incredible portraits of people like Viv Richards and
Yeah.
Inzamam or Hack.
I mean, it really is the sublime to the gore blimey.
Yeah.
And there is one, when you talk about some rubbish, there's one, and it's quite old, I think. And they've depicted this game of cricket where the batsman is striding forward, and there's somebody who's supposed to be fielding a silly mid something, but is standing in the middle of the wicket.
Both feet.
Right in the middle of the
wicket, in
pitch.
front of the batsman. I don't know how the ball got to the batsman.
The
that
bowler
wasn't
would have
very
had to bowl
old.
it
That
right
wasn't very
through his
old.
leg. Yeah.
It was a touch of the Dan Diapers about that picture, which
Okay, well,
well, take it or leave it. I'm sure he has his fans. Hi
Has
Dan, if you're listening.
Has a disease been named after him? A touch of the Dan Diapers.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure I know what it
sounds
looks like.
Cockney rhyming slang, but I'm not sure what it's slang for. Let's be honest. But
Windscreen wipers.
Oh yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
My Dan diapers aren't working. Yeah, that's not bad. I'd like to go down to Halfords to get some new Dan diapers.
Got the old Dan's have been squeaking again all the way
Oh, dear.
over.
Yeah, failed the MOT. Dan's gone.
Anyway, back to the important matter in hand, which is boring cricket tweet of the week.
I'll go with Patrick Kidd just because of that conversation between him and Bear.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go for Patrick Kidd as well.
Patrick Kidd, you win this week's BCTOTW. There'll be nothing in the post, and you are very boring on that occasion.
Round
Do
of
better.
applause. Well, that's sort of a bad joke cricket tweet of the week, isn't it? Of which it would probably be a more, probably be a greater competition for that title because there was a lot of rubbish out there. Well, which brings us very neatly to what's been happening in the world this week that's caught the Bears' attention.
Well, there are a couple of things. I mean, it's quite difficult because they all put the same things up. But this one, a couple of stories grabbed me. The first one, this is fucking ridiculous. People are bidding thousands. People are bidding thousands for a clump of grass from Liam Gallagher's Nebworth gigs.
What?
You heard about this? Some
Are they
fucking
pulling
idiot.
up the grass at Nebworth?
They're pulling up the grass at Nebworth, and then someone holds it up in front of a camera, puts it on eBay. There's a picture here. The bid's up to it's never going to get paid. Someone's bid £65,100.
Yeah, that's bollocks.
Yeah, of course it is.
And it's private property, that. You
Well,
can't pull up grass.
I could fucking pull up grass in my back garden and say this is from
You
Nebworth.
can.
couldn't I?
It reminds me of that video by Ricky Gervais about the gypsy and the lucky heather.
I watched this supernatural thing that everyone's been banging on about.
He's quite funny, I think.
I thought it was quite funny. I don't, why are people, everyone's so fucking woke, man. Chris woke.
Yeah, but he was actually making jokes of not. Well, it's a bit complicated. You start to deconstruct.
Yeah, I know. But I thought it was pretty inoffensive, really. I thought it was quite funny.
That's more of a National Enquirer type story. I don't think that's real.
But what it is, because I've seen it in other places. I heard it on the radio.
There's somebody
who
who sells grass for a living, Bear.
No, never done that in my life.
Okay. All right. Well, talk to the expert. If you want to know what the truth is, speak to the man.
Speak to the man.
We have.
Another one that caught. Now this is the Welsh theme. Continue.
There's usually something about genitals and staples or something in these stories.
Well, no. Well, I found one of them. There's a woman who's given her. It was one headline I was going to do. There's a woman. Well, I'm telling you now anyway.
Given some headline.
She's giving her employees masturbation breaks during a week, and I thought, oh, that's quite.
Hang on. Tell me more.
Well, but this is the thing. That it turns out that she's an adult film star anyway, and probably all her employees are adult film stars, and just keep themselves all lubed up as the week goes on, aren't they?
You're in the film business.
That reminds me
if you're looking for a change of career, maybe.
That reminds me of that Big Train sketch about wanking in the office. That's very funny.
I remember one Big Train section. That was the World Stare Out Championships with
very
Harry
good.
Davis's commentary.
If you like that, then you. I heartily recommend the whole caboodle. It's very funny.
So this one, the Welsh are still here. So I thought this tickled me.
Despite our best efforts.
Well, exactly. Welshman drinks at 56 pubs in 24 hours for the Guinness World Record. I thought, that's cool.
Top man.
Exactly.
56 in 24.
Yeah.
People in Ireland do that without even phoning up the Guinness Book of Records.
That sounds like a David Boone type record that I know for a fact I could beat.
Yeah, I think I could be. But then you read the story and you think, well, then, after 56 pubs, if you had a pint in each, at 24, you'd be pretty smashed, But it turns out he didn't have to drink alcohol in all the pubs. So yeah, exactly. That's no fucking pub crawl.
Get out.
I mean,
don't waste my time here.
Why is that even a record? What, he went in 56 places and had drinks in 24 hours?
I remember when we were younger, we were trying to work out if we went to every stop on the London Underground and got out and had a drink at each of them, how long would it take us? This was like a long-running dispute. But the days before the internet, how many days would it take you to actually do it?
Days and days.
It's a good interview question, isn't it?
It's a maths question.
Like what would win, a badger or a baboon,
GCSEs.
that kind of thing.
Because I don't know. I mean, how many stations there are on the London Underground network?
Well,
probably a good
there was a thing
100.
about how much time would it take you to actually do all the stations on the London Underground. There are a lot more now because they've grown some extra lines. But I mean, in the old days, the classic lineup, it would take you a long time to actually do all of them. I don't think you can do it in a day.
No way.
He's discounting the Jubilee. Can't believe it.
Oi, you've dished the DLR. But
Island Gardens, no.
It would be doing. You could do that as a Guinness Book of Record things to see. I mean, it'd be bloody boring. Let's be honest.
No, it sounds great to me.
What, to do all the stations on the London Underground in a day?
And have a drink at each one.
Oh, yeah. But
because
if any of our listeners want to try it and let us know.
There's another factor. How close is the nearest boozer or place you can get a drink to each one?
And you say you're doing it for cancer research and people throw money at you. I mean, it's terrific, I think.
Well, there was a guy who did X amount of bloody bungee jumps in a day, didn't he, in Scotland the other week?
Did they all work?
I can't remember. It was either.
I think because you're halving your chances each time of surviving them, aren't you?
I'm expecting some sort of two Ronnie's name there, Angus McUpside Down or something.
It was something like 400 in 24 hours, and he had to go to Scotland to do it. Obviously, he found a place. Yeah. Exactly.
No.
I'm gonna have to find a story now.
400.
How much taller was he at the end of it?
I don't know. World bungee jump.
He's broken. He hasn't broken the bungee jump record, but he has broken Robert. What's his name? Waldo.
Robert Pershing Wardlow,
who was
8 foot 11.1 and 35 stone.
Oh,
yeah, here we go. 430 jumps. Frenchman, Francois-Marie Dibon. 765 jumps in
He probably did some parkour.
Hang on. How many? 700 and...
Yeah.
30 what?
765 jumps in Phehlukwayo.
It's going up.
Phehlukwayo.
Yeah. Okay. In
what did he just do? A bungee jump, get unplugged, run up the stairs again, do it again.
Basically,
you don't run up the stairs. Don't you go back up? No, you don't. You don't go up back up.
Maybe got a Guardian story. Here you go. Frenchman set new world record. Most of it. Francois D1 to 765 jumps in Phehlukwayo, Perthshire, Scotland. Easily beating a previous record set by New Zealand and Mike Hurd in 2017, who completed 430 jumps. Presumably
in a 24-hour period.
In a 24-hour period.
It's not been great for a great decade for New Zealand in international competition, has it?
Have you got the full story up there, Bear? Because I have questions.
Oh, they
okay.
I have.
Well, I've got the story as in told by the Guardian. Yes.
How high? Well, that's what I mean, really. How high was the
Frenchman?
This is what I was going to say. Each jump was from a 40-meter height.
That's not bad.
And was overseen by Highland Fling Bungee Base.
They are the gold standard of adjudicating official bungee jumps.
This is it. Are there any rules?
When he did the second one, he was probably still hitting the 6 from his previous one.
Well, he's probably an extra.
Which is on the way down.
Man,
it's like who's that ex? Who's the kicker? Who's got the world record for the All Blacks? He would have attempted to.
Dan Carter.
Yeah, I think he was attempting to kick something like 600 goals in 24 hours or something for charity.
600 in 24 hours?
Yeah, something like that. Maybe it was more than
an hour. If you line them up, you never know.
See, now we're on world records. Let me go and find that one. Dan Carter.
Should we find some easy world records to break them?
Yeah, didn't we have this conversation before?
We did, about holding your breath underwater. I don't think that's such a good idea.
No. That one, there's some definitely
that's
good.
That's not what I was thinking.
There were some good free divers for that.
Yeah, I have to say,
flicking bounty bars off a wall in Leningrad.
Flicking wrappers into a
there you go,
a dustbin at the other end of the room.
Again, it's in the Guardian. The Guardian covers all the good stories. Dan Carter kicked 1,598 goals in 24 hours.
Well, I suppose if you line them up, you could probably do 10.
Well, he had people to
in a minute. They just lined up, and you.
What is that?
It's hard work. I suppose it's a bit hard work. If he did it was Johnny Wilkinson, he could only do about 6 because he had to do that whole routine, about putting his hands together and leaning backwards and forwards,
sitting on the toilet.
Oh God, like Marcelo Bielsa, actually.
Yeah,
I have to say, I've just found something, which is I know I said I haven't done any prep for this whatsoever.
But you lied.
I haven't, but I've just found a little area where I jot things down, and every so often when I think of a story that I've heard or from my life or from my cricketing life, and I think, oh, I'm going to say that on the podcast, and then every so often I happen to be driving somewhere and I'll never think of it again. But every so often I'm sitting at a computer and I just jot it down, and I've just remembered a story that a friend of mine told me, which has nothing to do with cricket or anything else.
I think he's crashed.
That one's worked out.
Oh, he's in?
Yeah, no. I think he's crashed.
A lot of overs to go.
He's trying.
See, even Bairstow playing forward defensive shots. Now look.
Yes, that was a dot ball.
There's no panic on Poe. No panic.
Well, maybe this is the other side of, look, we've struggled against India to blow them away. Let's try and go back to traditional cricket before we won the World Cup.
Well, I think there does have to come a point where, when it's gone wrong 2 or 3 times and you're in a new regime because you've gone from Morgan to Buttler, you have to come to a point where you say, well, look, we're chasing 333. If we go out all guns blazing and we're 100 for 5 off,
10,
12 overs, that's going to be a problem. So.
Yeah. Just easy misfield there from the South Africans. Phehlukwayo just continuing those woes that South Africa have in the field. I hope they don't drop any catches.
They haven't done yet, have they? So.
Well, we haven't, but it's just a worry when you're seeing ground fielding like this.
Let me just catch up with tweets. Chris says this Roy innings is currently his second slowest ODI innings in over 25 runs, just behind a 49 off 78 versus New Zealand in 2019. Thank you, Chris. Leah just says, so when are we going to send in Rassie back out there to face a barrage of insignificant strip of dirt like it's 1914 again? Neymar Butlin's the openers are rotated like band members for Earth, Wind and Fire. Oh dear, very good point. I'll shut up there.
Phehlukwayo back in again. He's only gone for 7 in his allotted overs, 68 without loss. Just a slow burn for England right now.
Yeah, this is clearly a different approach today.
It's taking singles wherever they can. It's another one taken off of this ball from Phehlukwayo, which was shortish one, just punched away. Out to the offside for a single. Yeah, South Africa will be very happy with this. Jason Roy just struggling to get off strike again, just playing it out for no run.
This run rate is slower than our Red Bull test team goes out at the moment.
It is, yeah. It is, definitely. Yeah.
Send Roy to the test team and bring in Crawley and Lees. We'd be on 169 by now.
Yeah, no, you would be on that 160, but it's actually very interesting, the contrast, because I would have thought Baz would have been your limited overs coach, not necessarily your ODI coach or your test team coach. As single taken off, Roy gets to the other end and brings Bairstow to face the music. Some good field placings from the South Africans, just protecting those boundaries, just drying up those boundaries.
Yeah, there have been very few. I mean, I think on the Brendan McCullum point, yes, I think it did raise some eyebrows when he took over the Test side. Although I think one of the things is when England have got into trouble in recent times in Test cricket, they've tended to go into a That one's gone down to fine leg, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've tended to go into a mode where they don't play a shot at all for fear of getting out and trying to stay in. So maybe this was the kind of, maybe McCullum was the antithesis of that, and to try and get a more sort of, you know, a change of mental attitude. I mean, who knows whether it will work long term? I'm not sure.
Yes, Jason, we're just struggling to just get off the mark here.
He even failed with his ramp shot there. It came off de Kock.
Yeah, it was looking like doing ram shots now and trying to find a way to give himself something. 36 or 53, 73 without loss after 15. Bairstow on 32 of 38. Yeah, looks like this game is this innings is completely going to stop.
Let's catch up with tweets. Jay Grover gives us an update from Sheffield. Says, I'm just pretty impressed. Sheffield smells all right at 38 degrees. I mean, I had to light a joss stick and throw it in the bins, but it's nicely balmy. Farong gives us an update on Crawley. 32 catches in 25 tests. Gives that nod in the test team. Batting average of 26.7. Well, it's catches that win matches. And Neymar Butlins. Come on, City. Champions League, EPL double. Here we go. It's the wrong game, Neymar.
Wrong game. Shamsi starting the next over. Still has that slip and toe.
Oh, I can do a jingle.
Wide. That one's just right down the leg side.
Good jingle.
I've missed that jingle.
Yeah, it's a great jingle, that one.
There's next one in, just Shamsi just sorting his thing out. England need to find a way to get themselves into this game. My feed's just slow this side, so probably gonna need you, John, to just go out and ball by ball for a bit.
Yeah,
okay.
I can pick up. That's fine. It always happens. It'll happen to me in my slot that it'll go slow. Somebody will have to rescue me as well. So we're
shout John if yours goes down. I can always cover.
Hey. There's always a gorilla to sort you out
somewhere here in the studio.
Here's Shamsi anyway, he's in. This is on the leg stump. It's pushed up to shortish mid-wicket. There's no run. I'm just hoping my fellow Middlesex man, Mr. Bishop's alright, because I've just looked at the score again from Lords, where...
how my boys doing? Because I know we were 57 for 1 earlier on.
Well, Middlesex thought it would be a bright idea to stick Sussex in 40 degrees of heat. And Sussex are 316 for 2.
Wow.
So that's not a particularly clever idea.
We did score 560 for 4 in our last full innings. So.
Yeah, but you're playing Middlesex, so if you get anywhere near that this time, you'll probably win the game.
Leicester did score 760 in reply, so it's, I think
but
the Hove track was a bit...
Middlesex can't bat.
Yeah, but you knocked off that big run chase against us at Hove, didn't you? That 350.
No, that was many moons ago. Here's Shamsi. He's into Bairstow, pushes that up to mid-on, where it's retrieved by David Miller. Throws it back in, and it's just a single once more. Yeah, Middlesex looked a half-decent team back in May and June, but unfortunately they've forgotten what that team is. So, fallen apart, frankly. It's Shamsi to Jason Roy, who backs away from the stumps, tries to hit it through the offside field, but doesn't break the cover, and that's another dot ball. End of the over.
Keeps on hurting himself and his team.
Little update from Twitterland. Neymar says something I think we were discussing a bit earlier on. Bring in the openers from the Red Bull team. I think we agree on that one, Neymar. Well done. And Jay Grover commenting about McCullum. I assume it's more a motivational speaker type gig with cricketers of their ability. It works, I'd imagine. It work organically. Discuss.
Well, the trouble is, if it is only a motivational thing, that doesn't speak to me of longevity. That's the problem, because the question is, if it's about motivation, how many lines have you got?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's tricky, I think. But there we are. So England are 77 for none off 16. Here's Phehlukwayo again. This is aerial, but it's bounced in front of the fielder, who retrieves it, and there's still only one run. That was Nortje in the deep.
He didn't make much of an effort there, did he, really?
In his big floppy sun hat, with his yellow towel round the back.
It didn't bounce that far from him, really, did it? I thought.
No, it didn't. I mean,
maybe
it was a pretty ordinary shot.
Oh no, he was never going to get to it. Okay, I'll take that back.
Well, it was. I think he mishit it so badly there was no danger of it carrying, really. But I think he's hit that one a little bit better. But there is a sweeper out there, and again, there's just a single.
South Africa will be very happy with these 16 overs.
Oh yeah, absolutely, because England are not really putting them under any pressure. So
you see Joss is pacing up and down.
He looks very relaxed. He hasn't got his kit on.
Well, look, with Joe Root coming in, you've got Moeen ready. That's the long battle, man.
This is down the leg side. I think Bairstow got something on it. Shamsy's come round to field, and they've scampered back for 2. 81 for no wicket. Yeah, I think England's problem is that Buttler and Livingstone are finishers, really. So you've really got to try and bat deep by the time they come in. You don't want Buttler in ahead of the 30th over, as somebody said earlier. Bear, I think. This is Bairstow squirting that one behind the wicket, but short third man fields it. That's
Who's
the end
standing out there without wearing a cap in this play?
Oh my goodness, that is
Dwayne Pretorius.
That's insanity. That's insanity. Get a hat on, man. Yeah, that's mad. That really is mad. Bairstow this time. That's clever. That's
jingle.
Clever from Bairstow.
I can do a jingle. Here we go.
It was just outside the off stump, and having hit the previous one to third man, he angled the bat a little bit more and got it fine of that fielder, and it ran away for 4.
That is a beautiful shot. Very
clever.
I like the ball from Phehlukwayo.
Yeah.
Full toss, outside the off stump. Well, not full toss, but it was block.
Well, it's a Yorker, really, isn't it? And he's managed to get the bat on it and get it away for 4. I mean, that's very clever cricket. And this one's gone down to mid-on. And so Bairstow takes another single, goes to 40. That's 86 for none at the end of the over.
Yeah. And it looks like my signal's working now.
Hooray!
He's back. Got everything out.
He's back.
We'll hand back to you. We'll hand back to you, Umpo.
Yes. Cool. Any tweets?
No, we're up to date on those.
People tweet us in. Let us know what you think. We've got the curious case of Jason Roy. You've got Johnny Bairstow getting a chest guard. Or is not even a chest guard. That's like a rib guard.
Does that mean someone's Ngidi's coming back, or Nortje?
Yeah, suggests a quick man is going to come and...
Yeah, Nortje's back on.
Anrich Nortje.
Nortje.
Let me do his jingle while we're sorting the film.
If your number one project is to have yourself a bride, I think I've got your number one guy. He was bought by a franchise when he was buying meat. It's Heinrich. It's Heinrich Nortje.
Probably part of the long line of South Africans whose names get mispronounced. There's another one now who's playing amateur golf. Aldrich Potgieter. It was a really big struggle for the commentators at the Open. Ooh, full ball outside the off stump, driven to that fielder at cover. Good dive in there, but just easy single for Jonny Bairstow, who brings his partner, who really is struggling. 38 of 57 is Jason Roy.
Talking about golf infos, Bezuidenhout, a South African.
Bezuidenhout, yes.
The Bezuidenhout, there you go. See, I knew you'd.
It's Christian Bezuidenhout.
Yeah, good golfer.
He hasn't defected to live like all the other South Africans.
Not yet, anyway.
Look, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Nortje into Jason Roy down the leg side, bit of a clip. Hopefully it won't be leg by, but great fielding from Quinton de Kock. He had to run about 15 meters to collect that ball.
It was a great chase. It was a great chase by de Kock. I think he went down in installments after that.
He's all right. He's got pads on, John. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that. Oh, yes.
Hugged the ball at the same time. Very good.
Yes, then he taps his chest because it's very sore. It's very sore.
Well fielded.
That wouldn't have been great.
It's like he was diving for the try line. That's how it was. That's the only way I can best describe it as. Oh, Jonny Bairstow. That's the timing Jason Roy wants. Thank you very much. Extra cover for 4. What a drive.
That was prime Johnny B. That one.
It was short, slightly wide. He just
Top
played
of the bounce, smack. Thank you very much. See your cover point.
Doesn't even move his feet. Just hand-eye coordination. Now the ball similar than the previous one. This time Johnny gets the inside half of the bat and just goes back to the bowler. No run. 92 without loss. 4 balls into the 18th over. England will still get to this target batting like this, and that's the disappointing thing that's the scary thing for me, because you just need to explode in the final 10 overs. If you can score 100 in the final 10, you're in. Oh, timing.
Oh no! Oh my word!
There was such great timing that the fielders converged, the mid-on and mid-off converged, and they didn't decide who was going to get to the ball, and they went for ball. Comedy of errors.
They collected each other magnificently, but the ball kept going. That's the problem.
Johnny,
one of them has really come off rather badly, I think. So maybe we shouldn't be laughing. I think that was a pretty heavy collision.
Captain Maharaj and Andile Phehlukwayo, and Andile's on the floor now. Hopefully he's okay.
It's a nasty collision, actually. To be fair,
when we were starting to play this game, we were told we need a call for the ball.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it was mine. Nobody knew whose it was, and they decided.
That wasn't quite as bad as the run out I saw at Merchant Taylor's last week. There was a county championship last week. This is actually on. It's on YouTube somewhere. This run out. It's a run out involving 2 guys called Max Holden and John Simpson. And Max Holden had played the ball down to fine leg, ran the first one quickly, turned to run the second, but the problem was neither of the batsmen looked at each other at all and ran down the same side of the pitch. Simpson was running head down and literally head-butted Max Holden right in the solar plexus in the middle of the pitch. At which point the ball had come back in and the wicketkeeper just took the bails off. And we literally had 2 guys poleaxed in the middle of the pitch.
Oh no!
It was an awful piece of running.
It was funny to watch, though, wasn't it? So.
We're getting more medical attention now.
Yeah, we are. It's not looking clever this at all.
Yeah, let me just catch up on tweets while we're waiting. Jay Grover, I think looking at the micros of motivation might be a bit more effective than the micromanagement of talent, bracket strategy versus tactical. Then again, I'm speaking as a man with neither talent or motivation. Follows that up with no tweets. You've missed about 10 of mine, you lanky bird-shirted goblin Mayflower. Thank you, Jay. Jeff Perkins chips in with all jingles are guaranteed to have passed the stringent Nakul Mpande School of Pronunciation requirements. And Leah says, well, Shardul Thakur has a better test batting average than Jason Roy. He has also taken test wickets, which Roy hasn't. But you can't poach him as long as you have a Tory government. Too bad, so sad. And finally, Chris TV says we may be seeing 7 overs of Markram. Ooh.
I hope I'm not commentating on those 7 overs of Markram. No.
Do you suspect they might be painful, Empo?
Not them. Look, he's done well with the ball. A lot of people are saying Aiden Markram's in the side because he can bowl. And my answer's always been, what's your primary job? If you don't do a primary job well, you don't deserve to be in the side batting an average of 20.
No, absolutely. I agree.
So those 7 overs of Aiden Markram are going to come in because if Andile's out cold or he's going to go to the hospital, then yeah. So concussion protocol.
Yeah. It doesn't look good either, does he?
He's walking off
with a smile. Good.
Yeah, well, that's a good sign because that was one serious collision. We're seeing it again now here, actually.
Why would you show it?
Because he's okay.
Yeah, you show it because he's all right. But ow!
It took a head to the chin. Though.
Maharaj's shoulder went into the chin of Phehlukwayo. Yeah, that's basically
more
rugby than
that's basically a rugby red card, isn't it? Really?
Yes.
That's
Exactly.
a rugby red card tackle. That's what that is.
Last week, and on Saturday, was it Cheston Kobe against Wales? Got a broken jaw in like the 30th minute.
Ow.
Not a similar collision to this, but yeah, he went in for a tackle and came out with a broken jaw.
Ouch. Is that because he got his head on the wrong side of the ball?
Look, Cheslin's a small man, so when you tackle him, sometimes his head might cop a little bit more
of course.
Shoulder, because obviously guys have to go a lot lower. But it was a okayish tackle. Just came off with the. But he wears a scrum cap, so that's the other thing. So it kind of helped, but he's like out. And he's like
bad.
One of the game breakers for South Africa that we need against New Zealand, but we'll find somebody.
That's tricky.
Johnny B on 49. We're back with play. Nortje, having gone for 30 in his 4 overs, he's been quite expensive. Into Johnny B, who defends it back to the bowler. First ball after a break is always a tricky one. End of that over, 96 without loss.
Warren asks, is Sydenham on fire yet? Well, I can tell you that this part of Sydenham is fine at the moment. I can't smell any burning smoke. And Jeff Perkins, surely Markram is in the side as he knows how to win World Cups. Empho.
Oh my word. As a child, as a 17-year-old, he's 10 years removed from that, averages 27 in ODIs, only scored 3 half centuries. I don't know if this one's the 4th or if that's the 3rd. Went to the World Cup averaging 28, is now averaging 27, and we still want this guy on the side. I call it pretty privilege because he's got a pretty face.
It's a long time to dine out on something, isn't it, really?
No, like he's been given so many chances, and you guys are talking about Jason Roy.
I hear you.
This guy, and he picked up spin along the way.
I'm hearing you, Empo.
Sure, that's okay. Oh yes, captain's back. Maharaj gets the first ball to Jason Roy. He tries a reverse sweep, but third man is in.
This is jingle.
There's a bowler there from South Africa. Started out bowling pace, but he made the switch. I wonder why, but he's known as Keshav.
We'll turn back to the bowler. Next one from Johnny Bairstow.
Oh, why are you still showing this collision? That's not something that.
Yeah, ball down the leg side.
Much of, really.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good to be showing that. But
no.
Yeah.
Don't show it anymore.
Jonny Bairstow with that single gets to 50 runs. Really important innings.
Here comes the jingle.
50 runs, your 50 runs. Well done, well done, well done, well done.
Oh, ooh, Jason.
What a piece of
Stays it. And he
Still slapped that to extra cover. Finds the fielder. That's Jason Roy today. He's finding fielders, but not getting out. Reverse sweep comes out, and finally it's gone through the inner ring, and it will race away for 4. Seems like it's been an age since Roy's found the boundary. Handsome applause as England get to 102, but I think Jason will be very happy with that.
Well, he was very unlucky the ball before, wasn't he? Because he absolutely creamed it and the cover fielder stopped it. Oh,
Ooh,
that's gone up in the air.
In the air. Is there going to be a fielder underneath it?
Yes.
What a catch! David Miller going to his left. And Jason Roy, just after that fall, pulls out at wide-ish long off for 43. And England lose their first wicket, 102 for 1.
Shit gets wicked, so try and see. A spoonful toss is a guarantee there. Shit gets wicked, obviously. Shit gets wicked, so shit gets wicked.
Yeah, if you're going to take on a fielder in the outfield, you probably don't want it to be David Miller. It is the lesson of that, I think, probably, but... Yeah, literally just after he timed a couple of balls, finally he smacked it up in the air. So
yeah, he struggled to find the boundary, and then all of a sudden, once he finds the boundary, finds the fielder. I don't know how long you're going to keep Jason Roy. Is there any other options in this limited over side for you to try at the top?
Oh yeah, I think there's plenty. Actually. I'd quite like to see Phil Salt given a go at the top. I don't know about you, Steve, but I'd quite like to see Salty given a go at the top.
Yeah, I quite like Phil Salt. He was good at Sussex, and he seems to be going well. Where's he now? Lancashire or somewhere, isn't he?
He's at Lancashire, yeah.
So, and he's turning in some good performances. So.
But didn't he play
he's a very ebullient type cricketer as well.
Yeah.
He's very. You get the impression there's a lot of positive energy around the boy.
Joe Root's the new batsman. Here's his jingle.
He's Joe Root, and his home is ever on the ground. Joe Root, wherever there are runs, he will be found. It's Joe Root. It's Joe Root.
I thought you were going to play the other one, Steve.
The world's...
I've only got one on here.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, they've taken the other one away.
Oh no, that was great, that other one.
Well, I hadn't heard this Root one. I like it. Well, it's pretty cool. Look, he has been the anchor to this England side across all formats. The best batsman in the world by a country mile. Facing up to Nortje. This one straight on the pads, middle and off, and played out to Janneman Malan at short mid-wicket, no run.
That close mid-wicket fielder has been picked out by England the whole of this innings, isn't it? So either very good captaincy and field placing, but not very good batting. Good catch, that good running catch.
It's a lovely catch by Miller. You can see he's watching the ball the whole way in. Never loses it. It's a super catch.
Nortje into Root, down the leg side, short ball. Root pulls this one. Got a bit of glove there. We'll take a single. See what the umpire says.
Don't want to get you too excited, Emfer, but it looks like he's batting like Jason Roy.
Well,
I think that hurried him up.
Yeah, he's mistimed that, and there's a leg bias, it looks.
I think it hurried him up.
Yeah.
I think it was on him quicker than he thought.
He's quite deceptively fast, Nortje, isn't he? Quick boy.
Yeah, he is a very quick boy.
Oh, this one's up in the air. Where is it going?
Even the cameraman.
Nobody knows.
Oh, it's dropped. The Ngidi's dropped it at fine leg.
Nobody knew where that had gone.
Certainly not the cameraman.
I don't think Ngidi knew either.
Oh, it's dropped.
Nortje is not happy with that.
Nortje looks as impressed as somebody who's not impressed at all. I don't think I'd be making eye contact with him anytime in the next 10 minutes.
Oh no! And it took that shoulder of the bat or that leaning edge.
Oh, it's a dolly.
Ngidi just dropped
That's a dolly.
In and out in the breadbasket.
That is a dolly, I'm
He's
afraid.
going to get a lot more disrespect now. Next one is pulled down the leg side back to the culprit of the last drop. And he cleans that up better with a single.
And doesn't that always happen as well? Because you've just complimented somebody else on a really good catch. That makes the drop look even worse.
But it's elementary.
That was a 10 times.
And here it is.
How that he's dropped it.
I can tell you why he's dropped it. He's just on the move while he's trying to catch a ball. Set yourself, and Lungi. Next one is defended out back to the ball and around. He's like
It's almost as if he tried to cushion it into his hands and he took the hands away from it.
Too quick. Let me just run through a few tweets. Straight go over. Even Nakul admitted his Hindi pronunciations were mal. He just said his names quickly and with blind confidence. Leah sends in a picture of someone with a properly broken jaw. Thank you. And shave that chin, Kafash.
And last ball of our stint pulled square by Joe Root to Heinrich Klaasen on the boundary. Oh, actually Johnny Bairstow there. And that's the end of the 20th over. I think, John, you're moving into ball by ball as I go off. We'll be joined by Andy, if he's not underwater.
Has he found a snorkel that will work, we ask ourselves.
That's what we'll find out. And Steve is going to be there. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Cheers, Embo.
Cheers, Embo. We got it?
Well, after that let-off, England 106 for 1 off 20 overs. Require 228 more to win from 30 overs. But getting on for 8 and over now. So someone's going to have to put the pedal to the metal. Will it be Jonny Bairstow? He's facing Maharaj. He flicks this one off his legs, wide of the fielder who's chasing back. That's Shamsi. And I'm assuming they'll come back for 2, and indeed they do. 108 for 1.
Do we think Andy's still underwater?
No, I'm here, guys.
Oh, hi there.
No, he's there.
Hi there, Andy.
He's in darkness, but he's.
We can't see him.
Yeah, I'm going to try without video to see if that puts a little bit.
That might help your. Yeah.
I'm only doing tweets, so it should be fine.
Okay, the next one is
Here is
Jeff
Maharaj,
Perkins.
and that's turned into egg side to short mid wicket. There's no run.
Which one? Sorry, Steve.
The Jeff Perkins one from about 6 minutes ago.
Okay.
John, how are you?
Oh dear, poor Ngidi is getting his laps shown again and again.
They're going to show that a few times, aren't they?
Bairstow doesn't beat cover with the next one, and so again there's no run. Yeah, that's not going to be something he's going to want to see on a highlights reel, that's for sure.
But he's going to have to.
But he's going to see plenty of it. Yep. Here's Maharaj again, and Bairstow flicks this one off his legs, and they take a very quick single.
The way the
Root really had to get his head back.
hairstyle you probably need to have.
To the danger end, but they got through for 1, 109 for 1, Bairstow 55.
They run well together, these two. I'm not sure that really was on, but anyway, they did make it.
They are both very, very quick. But I guess the drawback of that is sometimes you go to things which, even for you, are too short, as it were.
Right, so we need some metal pressing, boys. Come on.
Yeah, we do. Here is Maharaj into Root, who goes back into his stumps, turns it round the corner, and again they're looking for 2 and running hard, and they've got back quite comfortably. That was very aggressive running from Root. He looked as if he wanted 2, immediately set off, and lo and behold he got back for 2, 111 for 1. Where's David Shepherd when you need him? The late David Shepherd, he'd be standing on one leg now, wouldn't he? Here's Maharaj to Root, who props forward and plays that out to short mid wicket, no run. That's the end of the 21st over, 111 for 1.
So Jeff says maybe Aiden needs to change his name to Markram to get any sympathy from foe. Jay says talks about pronunciation. He uses the same technique with South African names. Duck, charge in with high speed and hope no one notices. He knows no African languages.
It will be
South
my tactic.
Swahili. Yeah. Mayank says, here we go, the collapse is on. I reckon 140 all out in the next 10.
By Quinton to
Joe Root has a very small arm yard guard, and Mayank sends us a Premier League.
We missed Quinton in Test match cricket for that.
How did we wander into football on this?
Not quite sure.
On this,
we wandered into a tweet saying
on this
Manchester United
broadcast. But
the
hey,
Premier League, so yeah.
here is Nortje once more, driven by Bairstow, but bowler gets a hand on it and knocks the ball down, and there's no run.
Winvis quite close, isn't it? South Africa 52%, England 48%
Yeah,
at the moment.
I think
so it's about right, I think.
Winvis is cottoning on to the idea that England are quite a long way behind the rate here.
Still plenty of powerful batting to come.
Yeah.
He says, hopefully.
Oh, that's a great delivery. That's a Yorker, which Bairstow does well to dig out, and short mid wicket comes in and fields. Bairstow has a quick look at the bottom of his bat to make sure he hasn't broken it, I think.
Yeah, it's still there.
Digging that one out, but it still seems to be in one piece.
Yeah,
that was a great Yorker, actually, because it was swinging as well.
Exchange has it pretty even as well. So
good, okay.
50-50, yep.
Yeah, not much in it, I don't think.
What does Shamsi throw down?
This is a really good over.
Bit of an exhibition, isn't it? Very good.
Yeah, it is, yeah. And so far, Bairstow's been equal to it, but of course it's to create 2 dot balls, which means no progress for England towards the target, but yeah, 2 great Yorkers. A little sort of look of acknowledgement there from yeah. So very interesting. Here's Nortje again. Will he go full again, or will he stick a short one in? That's a short one. Bairstow goes to book it. It's dropped short of Ngidi, who's probably as relieved as anyone. I want to see the ball back in, and they cross for a single.
Good bowling.
Yeah, it didn't get all the way
nicely mixed up. I thought the short one might come after the 2 Yorkers. Bairstow's
jingle. He's calling for a new bat, isn't he?
Yeah, maybe he did damage that digging up one of those Yorkers.
Yeah, even if he hasn't, it's a good mindset just to get it changed, I think. Good ball.
Ooh, Root sways out of the way of another short ball. And there's no run.
Didn't go for his usual ramp there, did he?
Well, another over is slipping by here for England. See, the problem that I think England have is that in his current state of play, I wouldn't want Livingstone to have to take us too far. So you need Bairstow, Root, Buttler and others to get us a bit nearer this score. So there's a good bank of runs to be scored yet. Root plays this one off his pads, but straight to mid-wicket and just 1 from the over. Really good over from Nortje. That's probably the best over we've seen today from either side, I would think.
Yeah, and all balls over 90 miles an hour.
Yeah, he's definitely got some wheels, as they say.
You there, Andy?
Yeah. Oh dear, has the water descended again? We ask ourselves.
We still haven't got smoke here, I'm pleased to say. So,
yeah, I gather there's some pretty bad fires in Kent, Steve.
I think Essex is the one that's got the worst one. Apparently there's a few down Croydon way, 5 or 6 according to Hendo earlier on, but I haven't seen any smoke, I must admit, as I came over. I only had to come over about 10-minute drive round the South Circle.
If there's fires Essex way, a good friend of mine is a firefighter, so I hope he's not stuck in one of those.
A place called Wellington, amazing fires, houses, farms, vehicles burnt out.
Yuck.
Sort of stuff you've been seeing from Ukraine post some Russian bombing attack. Yeah.
No.
Extraordinary.
That's extraordinary stuff. It's what this level of heat in this country can do, I guess. but looks like it's going to be Maharaj again.
He's continuing, isn't he, Maharaj?
Yes, to bowl the 23rd over. He's continuing his spell. Jonny Bairstow on strike. Who knows that he needs to start upping the ante. Here's Maharaj, but he can't do much with that. He just strokes it out to like it was really sloppy. Where
it looked very good until that very last bit, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It was like a swoop down, pick the ball up. Oh, I didn't pick the ball.
Let me do some tweets. Jeff Perkins apparently he's on Discord.
Out towards the cover boundary, but the fielder is onto it smartly and returns, and there's just a single. 113 for one. That run rate has crept up to 8 and over, albeit all but 8 and over. This is driven off the back foot up to mid off for another single. But other than that boundary from Jason Roy and one that I can, so there certainly hasn't been many. There's Maharaj again. Bairstow goes for the reverse sweep. He beats the in. But the sweeper comes round, throws the ball back in, and they're for 2.
Well, it's better than 1, I suppose, isn't it? So.
Yeah, 2 is definitely better than 1.
I mean, Maharaj has bowled well, hasn't he? 1 for 25.4. I mean,
yeah, he's been pretty frugal in the current climate of Overton. Bairstow's gone to loft this one, and he's found the gap, and he's got 4.
There we go.
There's not one boy for me, I must have 2 or 3, I need 4.
He went right back into his stumps there, it seemed to me. Just it was pretty short,
yeah, short,
and he lofted it over the cover, over the mid-wicket fielder, and there was the man in the deep couldn't get round. This is a big swing from Bairstow to one that was heading down the leg side, but he doesn't make any contact. Hits him on the pad and actually squirts out.
A lot of cut.
Yeah, he misread the length of that, I think.
He must have got a bit of bat on it because they all got excited, but
no, I think it was missing leg stump anyway. But
Andy, are you around or has he gone? I'll just do some.
I think he's gone altogether.
Yeah,
now.
I'll do some tweets in his absence then. Mayank says, "Here we go. The collapse is on. I reckon 140 out in the next 10 overs." Warren, Joe Root has a very small arm guard. And then Mayank's talking about football. I think we covered that one.
Jonny Bairstow has cramp.
Not a good.
Really.
He's doing the old toe squeeze routine, I think.
Jay Grover says, "My dad has informed me that Salt is a fucking traitor, and that can never be considered for England. To be fair, he's still now the players, so I put it down to him being a Sussex mentalist."
That's probably the best. That's very good.
I forgive Phil Salt. If he wants to play for England, he can play for England. Oh dear.
Yeah, I think the sad truth of the matter is he has more chance playing for England, playing for Lancashire at the moment than he does playing for Sussex. But, which may be Haynes and Orr's problem a little bit down the road too. But we will see.
And Jay Grove is just asking you, John, has Livingstone ever shat on your chips? Because you sound like you've got issues with him.
No. I mean, I tweeted the other day and said,
T20 series.
You know, he's clearly a big power hitter, and we accept that.
They're going to get a ball that goes down leg side, and they're going to run through for 2 now again. And essentially, when
he's going to come off, what, 1 in 10?
I think it makes it easier for batters, even though the pace is being taken.
Particularly the way England are playing at the moment. If he's coming in too early and he's a finisher, that's not even going to help his cause because he's going to be playing. And I'm not sure he really needs to be. I think he needs to come and finish games of cricket. I think that's his job.
The Jersey Jingler.
He might develop into more than that, Steve, but at the moment, for me, he isn't. That's all I'm saying.
The Jersey Jingler, more Embo pissing himself laughing at comedy cricket, please. It's the content we need right now. And Farong advises that he's load shedding again. Already been 30 minutes. Keep going, Farong. And Andy Ward calling it a day. A more hand theft up, unfortunately. Thanks for trying, Andy. We're in Wales.
Yeah, it was good to see. It was good to see you. Don't drown in whatever it was that was affecting your equipment.
You know, Bairstow doesn't look 100% happy at the moment, does the player is doing?
No, he doesn't. He's clearly
a bit dehydrated or something.
Yes, he was fielding for the innings.
And everyone's just bowling as well. Then they've been knackered.
Well, yeah, quite.
Inning.
But you see, this is the thing. Different conversation. It is conversation. Now he's got to come out and bat. Van der Dussen bats for then can't field Burrow dehydrated.
Maybe knew something, which is why he dropped him. I thought.
He deserves a little bit more lapping.
I think
he's getting knackered. I'll drop him so he has to.
I think he's earned his stay at 8 and over. My Buttler sends in the high.
I guess the only danger with Jonny Bairstow having if he decides not to run and to deal in boundaries, will either be spectacularly good or spectacularly. It could backfire on South Africa.
It's been attacked.
Deadly.
We've still got 20 runs before bombs on the 120, so I suppose you could start that.
We've got a lot to do here.
Question around Zach Crawley.
14 off 20.
There's
a lot of
first side.
Hang on, here, up to. Come on.
In county.
Get on with the game, boys.
That's optional. Open 8.5 and over, but of lead calculation now. I think the problem some coming. So that's who yet.
7 overs, I don't know these days.
I think both the Sussex
coming on to bowl.
Good player.
Oh, that's exciting. We find.
But it may be a bit.
His jingle.
It may be a little bit soon. Conversation always at Empire.
After he.
People that you hear talking about it tend to be most of whom don't watch. When it comes to who else, it's Joe Root. The answer is no. Ace. Here's Markram and Root.
And they'll sing
leaps him.
Is bad.
It's going to go all the way. It's going to beat the fielder and then go for 4. So
of the day.
So the problem is, it's the
number of.
I'm not sure that's necessarily true about county cricket. And at the end of the day, it is. Here's Markram's jingle, area in which anyone who
a pattern spin
can progress through.
Yes, he's a winner.
So you can't keep
playing his shot.
Absolutely not. That's the. If Ravi thinks I'm negative,
a World Cup
about county cricket, then
he gets his
pessimism here.
A quick
rounds. End of that franchise argument from
here he is again.
So that's been
back and
that they were all just
cover, no run.
But I think we always knew that
the sweep was very
all domestic cricket's a level.
It was,
As we see Shamsi come in,
he plays so well, isn't it?
Just waiting for his first ball.
He's back on his
through. No single
wicket.
First ball.
Required. I don't think there's much. You'll be pleased to see John. A franchise cricket here at Gorilla Cricket.
No, there isn't.
Looks into this shot, and I just think long. And I've
more of a dance, John.
Social media to KP that into the shot. And my problem is a lot of the other issues that wasn't to address. He just comes under franchise cricket.
Yes, that's the other side of it. As Shamsi
hot to dunk
his
his pairs
done very much.
They get to mid off.
They've taken a single, and Roy is still struggling. We just don't know.
It's probably crept
of this.
They haven't done much since the 4 off the first ball. Here's Markram to Bairstow. Oh, hello,
yeah,
that's close.
That's
out. That's out. He swung across the line of the ball. He's reviewed it. Well, the only thing that's going to save him is if the impact is outside off stump.
And I don't think it was. I think.
And I don't think it was. I think that's out.
Yeah. And at best, umpire's call. So it's. I think it's going to be Jonny. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Wow, Markram strikes.
He does
Much
indeed.
to Empho's surprise.
Yeah. Shame Empo's not still on.
Yes, I bet he's shouting and cheering somewhere though. Well,
no, that's plum.
There's no bat in that.
To me, that's plum. Absolutely plum, I reckon that is.
Might be outside off actually.
Nah,
ball track is going to be fun. Yeah, we know there's no inside edge. Come on, knock on.
No, there's nothing on the bat or gloves. Let's go to ball tracking. Let's fast track this game.
Yeah.
Impact in line. Wickets hitting. Good night, Jonny.
Here you go.
You silly little boy, what on earth were you playing at?
Well, you can go and get some treatment now, can't you, John?
Yes, indeed, yes. Well, yeah, he can go and treat his cramp now. It's a good innings by Bairstow, who...
he started well and sort of fell into the Jason Roy inability to time, didn't he, unfortunately? So.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a bit of a shame that you can get more of the strike in the opening partnership, really, because it didn't make it easy for him, but...
anyway, the crowd are standing to him as he...
well, he made 63.
And also to
71 balls.
And to the new man, who is this chap?
Ben? Ben Stokes.
Yeah, getting a standing ovation on his way to the wicket for the last time in an ODI.
Well, he's served us well. He served us well in this format, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think people were saying earlier that if you look at his bare figures, they're not fabulous. But I think the thing is part of ODI cricket is how many performances do you produce that actually win matches? You know, and the thing is, he can win you a match on his own. That's the thing.
As he has
and
demonstrated,
has done.
Yes.
So, but that's a big breakthrough. Who are definitely ahead of the game at the moment.
Yeah, Maharaj looking very pleased.
And this is stroked out just beyond the two fielders that cover an extra cover who have to go back and retrieve it. And so Root takes a single and gets Stokes onto strike.
I wonder what he'll do here. Do you think he'll come dancing down the wicket at his first ball like he seems to have
I don't think it'll be long before he does, because to be honest, whatever format he's played this year, he's played exactly the same way. Which I think has been to his detriment. I think he's undersold himself as a batsman this year. I think he's almost got himself into a sort of I have to play a shot of ball type stuff. He's a better player than that. Anyway, he plays this one off the back foot down to long on and gets off the mark. 127 for 2.
105 matches and an average of 39. Not bad, really, is it?
No, that's not bad at all. And the question is, how many of those innings have won a match?
Quite a few. Yeah.
Quite a few, yeah, exactly. So here's Maharaj again, and Harut can't do anything with this one. He went back into his stumps, but could only push it back just to the bowler's left, and he fielded it in his follow through. Maharaj once more. Root tries to fiddle this one away, but only finds cover, and that net run rate, or that run rate, is climbing northwards at some rate now. Oh no, we're seeing another picture of the collision from earlier on. We really don't need to see that again.
That was a close-up for you, John. There, kick on.
It's.
I don't know. Is the fielder still off? I think he is, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's probably still off. Well, he's probably still being concussion assessed, I would think.
I don't think that's going to finish before this game finishes. So. Anyway, 25 overs done. Let me just catch up with some tweets. Leia suggests England losing this by about 10 runs, having lost only 1 wicket, would be the height of comedy. Well, that's not going to happen now. And Jay Grover says, is Stokes going to do a Greenwich-esque one-legged twatathon now? Here's hoping. Everyone's thinking the same thing, John.
Well, yeah, he's. Yeah, I don't think he's going to muck about.
He wants to get the run rate up anyway, doesn't he? He's got the license to do it. Man.
Yeah, the trouble is, you see, you've got Buttler and Livingstone to follow, and if Stokes got out now, they'd be coming in a little bit early for my liking. So I'd quite like these two to knock it about some more. But the trouble is, with the rate at 8 and over, you've probably got to take a few risks anyway. So.
Yeah.
Here's Markram, and Stokes plays this to mid-wicket, no run.
Even a full toss doesn't go to the boundary.
Yeah, he almost sort of turned that into a good ball by not coming forward, really. He plays that one off the back foot as well, to the man at cover.
Well, the twatathon hasn't started yet, has it?
Maybe he's not feeling terribly mobile tonight. I don't know. Oh, here we go. Reverse sweeps come out, but it's been fielded really well, and he can't get a run. So this has been another very good start to an over by Markram. He's in again, and again. Stokes finds the fielder, this time the man at mid-wicket. So again, there's no run. I think you can tell he's already ticking, Steve, as they say.
Yeah.
Itching. Here's Markram again. And
he found a gap.
Stokes does find a gap down to the man at long off. That's David Miller. And he throws it back in, and Stokes goes to 2. 128 for 2. Again, only 2 runs from this over so far. So,
very tidy, yeah.
It's
what a field.
Quinton to Kock is gesticulating
at
somebody. He hasn't got them where he wants them, or whatever.
well bowled. But he's given
that's a wide. He's given a wide for that. I guess it was down the leg side, so he didn't get away with that one. He's in again to complete the over to Root, who goes back into his stumps, and this time he beats the man at cover. He runs back towards the fence, misses the ball, but his teammates come round to cover him and throw the ball back in, and they came back for 2, 131 for 2 at the end of the over.
Yeah, Twitter world is up to date, boys.
People are not talking to us tonight. The heat's
well,
got to
they
them,
probably
Steve.
are, but I suspect machines working slowly, and maybe the fires in Sydenham are causing problems. So we'll see.
Oh dear!
Oh look, they've got the tape measure out now. Look at this.
Oh my word! What is going on here?
Oh, I think that was before the start of the game. Yeah. All sorts of arm waving. No, look at this. No, they've got.
Oh dear. What on earth?
I've never seen that in a game, I don't think.
No. Very bizarre.
He's going to go and do the other end now.
Very bizarre.
One sort of wonders why he didn't do this before the game started.
Very, very weird.
Is this Pretorius marking out his...
Yeah, this is Dwayne Pretorius, yes.
I hope after all that he's actually coming on to bowl. No, he's not.
He's not. Because Maharaj is going to carry on bowling.
No. Yep.
I'm not quite sure what all that was about.
No. Oh well. And now he's running off.
Or running back to his fielding position.
Which is not down there, but it's back here, mate.
Oh dear. Here's Maharaj anyway, bowling to Stokes, who plays that up to mid-on for a single. Goes to 3. 132 for 2. Maharaj now into route to reverse sweeps, but doesn't beat the fielder. They've got 2 men there on the reverse sweep now.
They had 2 for Stokes as well, didn't they?
Yeah, almost directly behind each other as well.
Yeah.
So
very close.
I think they've worked out the precise angle that he's going to play. This one he dabs out on the offside and does take a single. But South Africa won't mind that. They won't mind England taking singles at this point because they're quite a long way behind the 8 ball, despite only having 2 wickets down. Maharaj aborts his run up because someone is in Stokes' line of vision. Big glove went up to say don't bowl yet. He's in again now and Stokes goes back into his stumps but doesn't beat the man at cover. England's batsmen are finding the fielders today with monotonous regularity.
They are indeed, aren't they?
It has to be said. Here we are again. Stokes back into his stumps. Down to mid-on. South Africa are bowling a very good line here. They're making England hit a lot of things in the mid-off, mid-on arc, and they've got men back. So it's only getting 1 run every time. There's Maharaj into route, who again flicks that straight to the fielder at mid-wicket.
Finds a fielder, yes.
And only 3 off the over again. 134 for 2.
Right, what's going on here? Jay Grover, Sydenham's Burning doesn't really sound like a punk anthem, possibly a Benjamin poem. I think you're right there. Chris TV, Pretorius wasn't in the 11. Looks like he's the concussion sub. That's why he's marking his run up. Thanks, Chris, for making that clear.
In case he needs to bowl, yeah.
And Farong advises that Andile Phehlukwayo has been ruled out. Dwayne Pretorius comes in as a concussion replacement. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, it was kind of inevitable, I guess, bearing in mind the heavy hit he took. I don't think we were expecting to see him again. This one is first ball of the new over is played up to deep mid-off. Stokes takes another single, 135 for 2. Yeah, I think that was inevitable.
Not a surprise.
A big collision. Here's Markram into route to makes a bit of a mess of that. He's kind of backing away from the ball and flicks it up on the leg side. And there's no run. That was very strange. It's almost as if it actually hurried onto him a little bit, in fact. Here's Markram again, and again that almost seems to stop on him, and he just jabs it back down the pitch. No run.
19 runs off the 33 balls each to a face, so that's not going
to
do it.
Markram again.
That's better.
Root advances and hits straight down the ground, and that may have gone all the way. That one.
What is it? I say, chap, give me any lip.
I think it's gone all the way for 6. It has indeed.
Has indeed.
Just cleared the Toblerone, I think, as they tend to call it these days.
Good strike.
Markram again. And this time he goes back and plays it out to the sweeper on the cover boundary. That's just a single. Well, that's 6 rescued that over somewhat. 142 for 2 at the end of the over. Now that one he did dance.
I was
down
going
the
to say,
pitch,
John, would you call
Steve.
that dancing?
That was definitely dancing. That
good.
was.
We're in agreement. That was definitely a dance. Oh, he's gone. He's gone.
Hello. That's out. That's out.
I don't think he'll review that either.
That's an awful shot from Stokes. I don't think he is going to review it. I think he's going to go, isn't he?
Pretty plumb, I think.
I think Ruti's going to say to him, "Sorry, mate, you got to go."
And you're out of time now.
And he is going to go because he's run out of time. And that is it. That is the end.
The crowd says you're out.
Well, that was plumber than Bairstow's, wasn't it?
Got that all wrong. He misread the line and the length, and Markram's now got 2. So he's got rid of Jonny Bairstow and Ben Stokes. Stokes making his way off for the last time in ODI cricket. No doubt he'll get a standing ovation once more, and he does. But he hasn't gone out in a blaze of glory today. His bowling was given some stick, and he only got 5. And it's 142 for 3. And England are up against it as one of their talisman retreats for the last time.
We need a skipper's knock now, don't we?
We do. We certainly need something pretty positive now from somebody. We really need Jos Buttler to be Jos Buttler, don't we now? So. Trouble is, we still need nearly 200 runs, Steve.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, well, if anyone can do it.
That was as plumb as you can get. That was.
Here's a jingle.
Pryor ain't no loss, 'cause we found someone Sutler. Okay, he can't spell Joss, but he also can't spell Buttler. Jos Buttler. Just because he is Jos Buttler. 1 S and 2 T's. Jos Buttler.
Yes. A lot weighing heavy on this pair now. Joe Root and Jos Buttler.
Well, I'm sure they can do it. He says, hopefully.
It's a big ask now, I would say.
We're going to have
22 overs to score.
Nearly 200.
About 194 runs or whatever it is. That's a lot of runs.
9 and a bit, I think, isn't it? By my crude maths.
No, I think it's nearly 9 and over, isn't it? 22 would be 198, wouldn't it?
Yep.
So it's very nearly 9 and over. If I was working WinViz, it would be very much in favour of South Africa now. Here's Maharaj.
I don't think it's going to be 52-48 when we see it next.
No, I don't think it will be 52-48 now. Root takes a single down to long off. And, Maharaj has wheeled away well here.
Yeah, he's going to get away for under 50 at this rate off his 10, isn't he?
Which is pretty
very
good in this form of cricket these days.
It is, yeah.
Very healthy.
Come on, Jos. Give us
What
some
sort of
funds.
mood is Mr. Buttler in tonight? Here is Maharaj.
Well, he missed the fielder, which is a good start.
Yeah, he didn't find mid-wicket, so
which everybody else has
he
been
found
doing.
the sweeper on the mid-wicket fence and got off the mark with a single, 144 for 3.
He's looking mean.
Yeah, he is, but he knows it's a big ask. Oh my word! A big sort of attempt at a sort of slog sweep by Root. He completely missed it. Not quite sure how it didn't bowl him actually. I think it turned a bit and therefore it didn't bowl him. But, that's another victory to the bowler. Here he is again. Root drives this one up to long off. just a single once more. 145 for 3 at the end of the over.
Yeah, let me just do a couple of tweets. Leah says, and that's why Markram is in this team. His golden, nay, platinum arm. And Jay Grover says, I now think Markram exists only to annoy Umfo. And I think you're right there.
Well, he can, whatever else happens tonight, he can say he got 70 odd runs and he
two
got
very good wickets.
You know, Ben Stokes and Jonny Bairstow, so yeah.
He's got something in for the Gingers.
He looks a little bit forlorn there as we're seeing pictures of Stokes walking off. A dance down the pitch again. Has he got enough of this though? Yes, he's cleared the infield and it's run away for 4. Didn't look entirely convincing from Joe Root there. Sort of skewed off the bat a little bit, but mid-off was up.
I think he knew that, yeah.
Root cleared him. Just thought if I get enough on this, it'll clear him and it'll run away.
It was just a delicate lob over the infield, wasn't it? Yeah, it came off the bottom of the bat more than the middle.
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
He got enough.
So it's a bit of a hearty mouth moment. Here is Markram. Root goes back and plays it out to the man at cover and scampers through for a single. Brings up the 150 for England in the 30th over, which by England ODI standards these days is pretty slow.
Very, very slow, isn't it?
Pedestrian almost, one would say.
Like the early days.
Indeed. Here is Markram into Buttler, who drives off the front foot. Again, they scamper through for 1. The Kock's not very pleased with
Neither's the captain
the
either,
fielder.
Maharaj.
But yeah, the Kock wasn't very happy with that.
No.
I think he felt the run should have been stopped. But, it wasn't, so it's 151 for 3. Down the pitch again comes Root. Plays this one out to mid-on. There's a little bit of ground for David Miller to make, but they're not going to take on his arm. So therefore they only go through for a single. 152 for 3. Root's gone to 29 now.
Up in the pace, the good boy.
Yeah, he's trying to be positive all the time now, isn't he? So, as indeed he needs to be.
Well bowled.
Down the pitch, Buttler, but that was well bowled. I think he saw him coming, didn't he?
I think he did, yeah.
And dropped it in a bit, as they say. Buttler suddenly realised he didn't have anywhere to go with it. Here's Markram again. Buttler backs off and sort of thwacks the ball down to.
I think that's what they call
mid-on.
a smear to mid-on, isn't it? That was,
It was a bit straighter than a smear, but it was it was a bit sort of. I've changed my mind about 4 times kind of shot.
Right, we've got some changeovers coming here, haven't we? I think
I think we have.
and Tony are coming back in. I need Bear to come and press buttons.
Indeed.
So I don't know where I'm looking while I'm sitting here.
Yes, I think we've reached the 30 over mark, have we not?
We have indeed.
So
I'm going to ball by ball. I think Tony is coming in to do socials, and Umfo is going to be doing the summarising. When
where is the bish?
Yes, he's probably waiting to come in, but I can't.
I'll carry on until they get in. Or you carry on, and I'll back you up till they get in.
Maharaj has just floated it in, and Buttler's clipped it away to the deep field. They've taken 1 run. In again, this time to Joe Root, punched wide of the man at cover point down to the man at deep mid-off. And again, they can jog through and add another single to the score. England on to 155 for 3 in the 31st over. This is
The heat's
Maharaj's.
got to them all, Steve.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe the beer's arrived and Bear hasn't realised.
Yeah.
This one, Buttler can only punch square on the offside to the cover point fielder. No run.
Maybe the beer arrived some time ago.
Yeah. Faster one for Maharaj, and Butler's able to just clip this wide of the man at mid-wicket, and it's another single to the total. England dribbling along here, not any great pace. Maharaj, this is final over, 9.4, 1 for 42. Pretty good spell. That's Root going to do this one. Tries to punch it away on the offside. Only succeeds in picking out the cover point fielder. Didn't really get hold of that properly. And Maharaj, final ball coming up of a very, very productive over for spell for South Africa. Punched away just behind Scryer on the offside.
Really well bowled.
Man behind point is able to stop it. That's the end of the over. England 156 for 3 off 31. I'll go and see where Bear is.
We are in search of the bear. Bear, are you receiving us? And then there was just me. Well, this run rate is becoming pretty taxing for England. Just 19 overs to go. I see evidence of a bear. The bear and Empire are back in.
I need Tony. Where's Tony? Hello, Empire.
Hi, everyone.
Your man Markram's doing the business for you?
Yeah, seems like it. Greatest all-round of all time.
Golden arm. Golden arm. We're not going to let you forget that, Emperor.
I don't think the rest of South Africa on Twitter is going to let me forget that.
We got Shan.
I shall bid you good evening, gentlemen.
Thank you, John. Good to see you. See you next time.
I shall leave you in the hands of the bitch.
I think it's Steve. Steve's on board my ball, I think, and Poe is just being wise.
And Shamsy's back on, so here's his jingle.
And I'm twittering.
So Shamsi to continue with his left arm over bowling, and Buttler's hoiked this deep to mid-on. They've only taken a single. Hi there, Tony, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. It's about to rain here.
Are you at
Glorious.
Lord's or at home?
I'm at home.
Ah.
But I've relocated to a different part of the house that is now that it's not quite so blazingly hot. So it's my normal recording place.
The cool tones of Tony Bishop.
Wow.
Shamsi in again. This one's jabbed away by Root, again down to the deep mid-on fielder, and again just adding a single to the England score. They're creeping towards 160, not really going at a gun. What do you think, boys, of the game so far?
Looks like it's in South Africa's half, yeah.
I think it's South Africa's to lose at the moment. Well, England are running about 20 behind, aren't they, on an over-by-over basis? And have lost one more wicket after 32, 157 for 3 England, 176 for 2 South Africa. So
next ball from Shamsi. Buttler's punched it to mid-off, no chance of a run. Dot ball into the scorebook.
It's going to be a mammoth task from Josh Buttler here, but they're still within a shot.
Shamsi in again. Buttler dances down the wicket, doesn't really do very much other than just nurdle it into the leg side fielder, and the man on the deep mid wicket boundary hurtles in, and they've gone through for 2. That takes him to the 160 mark. Hooray! I'm going to celebrate that. Seems to have taken a long time.
What weird.
I've got my sparkling water here, Tony, so
it's steady on.
Yes, I came from a 21st birthday party and been drinking very nice Chablis actually, so Shamsi in again. This time Buttler has danced down and has properly connected to this one bounce to the boundary for one of these.
There's not one boy for me, I must have 2 or 3, I need 4.